Mack Rides is one of the most intriguing coaster manufacturers out there. Is it Mack? Is it Mack? I don't know. I'm calling it Mack. Forget Intamin and their problems, RMC and their quickly found success, Vekoma with their new renaissance. No, today we're talking about Mack Rides. If you look at Mack Rides' discography, you will find that it's quite unusual. While manufacturers like B&M or RMC have found success in their own markets, Mack has been pretty spontaneous with their models. You see, Mack doesn't really specialize in anything. They dabble in quite a few markets, but they don't really dominate any. The only market they really have control over is the extreme spinning coaster market, but that's a fairly new market that no one has really attempted other than them, so I don't know if it really counts. Mack tries out a model. If they find success, they'll usually install a few, but then they'll move on to bigger and better things. They don't stop selling those models, but they'll just shift their focus to improving their newer models, and then once there's demand for an older model, they'll then go back to improve it. But because of this, Mack has amassed a portfolio of rides that can really only be topped by Intamin, which I think is the best manufacturer, so I don't really blame Mack. But guys, today I'm here to tell you that this whack manufacturer is actually going to take over the world. They are in the perfect position to explode in popularity into the next big manufacturer. I mean, they're not small right now, but I'm talking big boys. So how are they gonna do it? How will this family-owned company compete with the likes of Ye Olde Faithful, a company run by a crackhead and problematic, the manufacturer? Well, here to help me answer that question is Coasterdash. He's been blowing up recently. He probably already passed me in subs, but go check out his channel if you haven't. He makes some pretty good stuff. Funny story, actually, this whole collab started out with a comment from Colin Turley, so shout out to him. If you wanna see us collab with other people, don't be afraid to let us know in the comments, because as you can see, we are quickly peer pressured. Anyways, Coasterdash, take it away.
Alright, first let's talk about their models. Coastoon's brought this up before, but Mack Rides has quite the portfolio of models to choose from. Their variety in models is really only matched by Intamin. In fact, Mack seems to be the love child of B&M and Intamin. They have a wide variety of innovative coasters like Intamin, but like B&M, they know their limits. They never really build anything over the top. That's not to say that they haven't built crazy rides, because they have, but they keep their projects manageable so they never really have any dumpster fires. But this has led to Mack having quite the appealing portfolio of rides to choose from. These are all rides that I could realistically see parks buying. If you look at Intamin's website, there are a couple of models that will probably never see the light of day again, like the Zaxbin, the reverse freefall coaster, and the prototype wing coaster. With Mack Rides, on the other hand, none of these ride models are completely out of question. They are all ride models that can be appealing to a wide variety of parks. In fact, in the last 5 years, we've seen every single one of these models except the powered coaster, the Wild Mouse, and the Megalite built, or at least announced and currently under construction. For this large of a collection of ride models, that is an incredible feat. Mack Rides has a coaster for almost every single market. They have water rides, they have hyper coasters, they have launch coasters, they have powered coasters, they have spinning coasters, they have spinning coasters, they have spinning coasters, they have wild mice, they really have it all. Sure, it's not as flashy as a multi-launch shuttle giga coaster, but if you want a quality launch coaster, Mack's got your back.
These models are exactly what parks want. They can fit in terrain, they can be themed around, they can incorporate practical effects, their capacity is pretty solid. I mean, in the park size, it's pretty much perfect. The only thing that was holding them back all these years has been price. Mack has always been expensive. Like that's not even a question, really. They're not cheap because it's family owned, but they weren't really trying to be. They're happy making more money. I mean, who wouldn't be? Look at Copperhead Strike. Look at this little thing. Like this dinky thing came right after this. Guess which one is more expensive? Oh, this one, obviously. However, it is actually alarmingly close. Copperhead Strike is only 4 million less than Fury. Fun fact, Copperhead Strike was more expensive than Intimidator, the B&M Hyper. Yeah, the B&M Hyper. The B&M Hyper. And this could be due to steel inflation and stuff, but come on, 26 million can get you a lot more than this, or at least a lot bigger. Icon is about 16 million euros. And you might be saying, for a launch coaster this size, okay, that's not absurd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is still more expensive than this, and this. So you might be thinking, if Mack is so expensive, then why come they're gonna take over the world? Well, they were so expensive. See, here's the thing. Mack has changed their ways a bit. They've started to create coasters targeted more at budget parks, and as a result, they formed a lot of new relationships with chains that aren't willing to dish out at least $20 million a pop. And we've actually started to see Intamin do this, like with some of their newer concepts, but I think Mack is doing it better. They're taking their old, previously successful models and revising them to make them more appealing now. The Power Splash is a perfect example of this. It's taking an old model that used to have huge success and giving it a fresh coat of paint to make it more appealing for the coaster market as it is today. But they've also just flat out introduced more budget-friendly models like the Big Dipper. Mack is editing their successful models and making new ones for a price and commercial appeal, and it's working.
All of this together has led to astounding success. Mack is working with practically every every chain you can think of and aren't in bad terms with really any. They worked with Wallaby to install cheaper rides that pack a punch like Lost Gravity and Pulsar. They worked with Cedar Fair for Copperhead Strike and Sierra Sidewinder. They're starting to work with Six Flags with Aquaman, and that could lead to a Power Splash Revolution, but that's for the next video. They've worked with SeaWorld for Cobra's Curse and Manta, and they've even dabbled in the big leagues with Disney for Slinky Dog Dash and Universal for that Mack powered coaster coming to Beijing. The only chain they haven't really worked with a lot recently is Merlin, but they have done Runaway Mine Train for Alton Towers, so it's not like they're a completely foreign company. But other than that, Mack has a strong relationship with practically every chain, which is kinda crazy to think about. Not even B&M can claim that title. Once the pandemic clears up, Mack is going to be everywhere, but more on that in the follow-up video.
That's just gonna about wrap up this video. I just want to say a big thank you to Coasterdash for helping me with this video. Part 2 is gonna be up in his channel soon about what Mack is gonna end up doing with all this newfound success. I'm talking speculation, predictions, all that jazz. So if you want to see that, go subscribe there. You probably already are, so just be on the lookout for it. Anyways, as always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I will see you all next time.